Imagine standing on the edge of history. The stadium lights blaze across the pitch. More than 80,000 fans hold their breath, while millions around the world stare at their screens, waiting for a single moment that could define an entire generation. Every pass, every touch, every heartbeat carries the weight of a dream that has lasted for decades. At the center of it all stands one man, Lionel Messi. For years, football fans have debated one question more than any other. Who is the greatest footballer of all time? Every trophy, every goal, every assist, every magical performance has fueled that endless conversation. Messi has won league titles, Champions Leagues, Ballon d'Or awards, and finally lifted the FIFA World Cup, completing a journey many believed was impossible. But football has a strange way of rewriting history. Just when the world thought his greatest chapter had already been written, another opportunity appeared. Another World Cup. Another final. Another chance to remind everyone why his name has become larger than the sport itself. This isn't just another football match. This is a story about legacy. This is the story of one final opportunity to leave a mark that may never be matched again. Long before this tournament even began, many people believed Messi's international career had already reached its perfect ending. Winning the World Cup had completed football's greatest collection of achievements. There seemed to be nothing left to prove, yet champions rarely think that way. They don't measure success by what they have already accomplished. They measure it by what still lies ahead. When Argentina announced its squad for the tournament, the entire football world immediately focused on one question: would Messi really play another World Cup? The answer was yes. It instantly transformed the tournament into something much bigger than football. Every stadium sold out, every training session attracted thousands of supporters, every interview became international news. Fans traveled across continents hoping to witness history with their own eyes. Children who had grown up watching Messi suddenly realized this might be the final time they would ever see him wearing Argentina's famous blue and white shirt on football's biggest stage. The emotional connection between Messi and Argentina had never been stronger. His journey with the national team had not always been easy. For years, critics questioned whether he could truly lead Argentina. Every defeat was magnified. Every missed opportunity became front-page news. Some even claimed he would never achieve with Argentina what Diego Maradona had accomplished decades earlier. The pressure became overwhelming. There were heartbreaking finals, painful exits, moments where victory seemed only seconds away before disappearing forever. After one devastating defeat, Messi even announced his retirement from international football. It shocked the entire sporting world. Millions of fans believed they had witnessed the end of one of football's greatest careers. But destiny had other plans. Messi returned. He continued fighting. He continued believing. Years later, that decision changed everything. Argentina lifted major international trophies once again. The team rediscovered its confidence. More importantly, Messi rediscovered the joy of playing for his country. Instead of carrying the weight of impossible expectations alone, he became the leader of a united squad willing to fight beside him. That transformation became the foundation of everything that followed. As the 2026 tournament approached, expectations reached incredible levels. Every football analyst discussed Argentina among the tournament favorites, not because of one player alone, because the entire squad had matured together. Experienced veterans combined with fearless young talents, fast defenders, creative midfielders, clinical attackers, a balanced team capable of competing against anyone. Yet everyone understood one simple truth. Whenever Messi stepped onto the field, football became unpredictable. Throughout his career, he had built a reputation unlike anyone else. You could defend perfectly for 89 minutes. 1 second later, Messi could produce a pass that nobody else even imagined. He didn't simply play football. He solved problems before they existed. Opponents often admitted something remarkable after facing him. The most difficult part wasn't his speed, it wasn't even his dribbling. It was his intelligence. He always seemed to know exactly where everyone would be several seconds before the play unfolded. That extraordinary vision transformed ordinary attacks into unforgettable moments. As Argentina entered the tournament, every match became another chapter in an emotional journey. The opening games revealed something fascinating. Messi no longer needed to dominate every minute. Instead, he controlled the rhythm. Sometimes he walked calmly across the field. Observers unfamiliar with his style wondered whether age had finally caught him. Then, almost without warning, everything changed. One quick movement, one perfect first touch, one impossible through ball. Suddenly Argentina had another goal. The crowd erupted. Commentators lost their voices. Teammates smiled because they had seen this story countless times before. Messi didn't waste energy. He waited, he observed. Then he struck at precisely the right moment. That patience became one of his greatest weapons. Each victory increased Argentina's confidence. The dressing room atmosphere reflected complete belief. Young players often described how calm Messi remained before matches. While others experienced nerves, he inspired confidence simply through his presence. Leadership does not always require such. Sometimes leadership means remaining calm while everyone else feels pressure. Messi had mastered that art. As the knockout rounds arrived, the intensity reached another level. There are no second chances in World Cup football. One mistake can end 4 years of preparation. Every tackle becomes more important. Every goal becomes unforgettable. Argentina understood the challenge perfectly. Their opponents knew. Defeating Argentina required stopping Messi, so they created special defensive plans. Extra defenders followed him everywhere. Midfielders closed every passing lane. Some teams even sacrificed attacking opportunities simply to reduce his influence. Yet football often rewards intelligence over physical strength. Messi adapted. Instead of forcing difficult dribbles, he created space for teammates. Instead of searching for spectacular goals, he built dangerous attacks through simple passes. His understanding of the game became even more valuable than raw speed. That evolution separated him from ordinary superstars. Many players rely upon athletic ability. Messi relied upon experience. Experience cannot be measured by statistics alone. It appears in tiny decisions, choosing the correct pass, slowing the game when necessary, accelerating unexpectedly, recognizing defensive weaknesses before anyone else. These invisible details often determine championships. As Argentina advanced deeper into the tournament, media attention reached extraordinary levels. Television stations followed every training session. Former players analyzed every movement. Social media exploded after every match. Millions debated whether this would truly become the perfect farewell. Some believed destiny favored Argentina once again. Others insisted football never guarantees happy endings. History contains countless legends whose final chapter ended in disappointment. Would Messi become different? Nobody knew. That uncertainty made every match even more captivating. Meanwhile, another giant quietly prepared on the opposite side of the tournament, Spain, a nation famous for technical brilliance, quick passing, intelligent movement, relentless possession. For years Spain had represented one of football's most beautiful philosophies. They believed controlling the ball meant controlling destiny itself. Their journey through the tournament impressed experts everywhere. Disciplined, fearless. Every victory strengthened the belief that Spain possessed exactly the qualities needed to challenge Argentina. Unlike many opponents, Spain refused to panic under pressure. They welcomed difficult matches. Their confidence came from years of tactical excellence. Football fans around the world immediately recognized the possibility. Argentina versus Spain, Messi versus one of football's most organized teams. A final worthy of history. But before reaching that stage, Argentina still had another obstacle standing in its path. The semi-final, one victory away from football immortality, one defeat away from unimaginable heartbreak. The atmosphere before kickoff felt unlike anything seen earlier in the tournament. Supporters filled the streets hours before the match. Flags waved from balconies. Songs echoed through entire cities. Families gathered around televisions. Restaurants paused regular business. Schools discussed the upcoming match. For 90 minutes, normal life seemed to disappear. Everything revolved around football. Inside the dressing room, silence replaced excitement. Players focused entirely upon the challenge ahead. Every athlete understands moments like these arrive only a few times during an entire career. Win, and history remembers your name forever. Lose, and opportunity vanishes. Messi looked around the room. Many teammates had grown up watching him. Now they stood beside him, sharing responsibility for one final dream. No individual could win this match alone. Every defender, every midfielder, every substitute, every member of the coaching staff carried equal importance. That unity had become Argentina's greatest strength. The referee prepared to begin. The crowd reached deafening volume. Millions watching worldwide leaned closer toward their screens. One whistle would begin another unforgettable chapter. Messi adjusted the captain's armband one final time before kickoff. He glanced toward the stands filled with Argentine supporters. Some smiled, others cried. Many simply watched in silence, fully aware they might be witnessing the closing pages of football's greatest story. Everything had led to this moment. Years of sacrifice, years of criticism, Years of unforgettable victories. Now only 2 matches separated Lionel Messi from another place in history that few athletes in any sport could ever hope to reach. But football has never respected reputations, it only rewards performance. And somewhere beyond this semi-final, another challenge was already waiting: Spain, a team determined to stop history from being written. Would Messi take one more step toward immortality? Or would the dream end just before the finish line? That answer was about to change football forever. The final whistle of the semi-final echoed through the stadium, and for a brief moment, time itself seemed to stop. Argentina had done it. Players collapsed onto the grass, exhausted after 90 minutes of relentless football. Some covered their faces with their hands, unable to believe they had reached another FIFA World Cup final. Others sprinted toward the traveling supporters, whose celebrations could be heard long after the match had ended. Yet amid all the emotion, one figure remained remarkably composed: Lionel Messi. Instead of celebrating wildly, he looked around the stadium with quiet appreciation. He embraced his teammates one by one, thanked the coaching staff, and applauded the fans. His expression reflected experience rather than surprise. He understood better than anyone that reaching the final was only half the journey. One match still remained. And it would be the biggest match of them all. Within minutes, headlines began appearing across the world. Messi returns to the World Cup final. One last chance for football immortality. Can Spain stop Argentina? News channels replayed every important moment from the semi-final. Football analysts debated tactics late into the night. Former players discussed the significance of the upcoming final. While social media exploded with predictions from millions of supporters. The excitement extended far beyond Argentina and Spain. Neutral fans wanted to witness history. For many, this wasn't simply about supporting one nation over another. It was about seeing one of football's greatest careers reach its final chapter on the sport's biggest stage. But history has never been handed to anyone. Every legendary achievement comes with one final obstacle. For Argentina, that obstacle was Spain. Spain had earned their place in the final through discipline, intelligence, and consistency. Their style of football remained instantly recognizable. They valued possession above everything else, patiently moving the ball until even the smallest defensive gap appeared. Unlike many opponents, Spain rarely relied on individual brilliance alone. They trusted the system. Every player understood exactly where to move. Every pass had a purpose. Every attack followed months of preparation. Stopping a team like Spain required patience as much as talent. Argentina's coaching staff knew there could be no emotional decisions in the final. Every tactical detail mattered. Training sessions became increasingly focused. Defenders practiced maintaining their shape under pressure. Midfielders rehearsed pressing triggers and passing combinations. Forwards refined finishing from every angle. Set pieces were repeated dozens of times until every movement became automatic. Meanwhile, Messi followed his own familiar routine. Although cameras constantly searched for him, much of his preparation happened away from public attention. He studied opponents carefully. He watched previous matches. He spoke with teammates about positioning and movement. Experience had taught him that finals are often decided by the smallest moments rather than spectacular performances. One perfectly timed pass, one defensive mistake, one save, one finish. Those tiny details separate champions from runners-up. As the days passed, excitement continued to build. Outside Argentina's training camp, thousands of supporters gathered each day hoping to catch a glimpse of their heroes. Children wore Messi jerseys. Families waved national flags. Many had traveled thousands of miles simply to be present for this historic occasion. Some supporters admitted they had followed Messi's career since his teenage debut. Others were too young to remember football before his era. Different generations shared one dream: watching their captain lift another World Cup trophy. Across the Spanish camp, confidence remained equally strong. Their players respected Messi, but refused to become distracted by his reputation. Several members of the squad explained during interviews that football is always played by 11 against 11. Their focus remained on teamwork, organization, and discipline. It was exactly the mentality that had carried Spain through the tournament. Neither side underestimated the other. Both understood they were preparing for one of the most important matches of their careers. As match day finally arrived, the atmosphere around the stadium became unforgettable. Hours before kickoff, streets surrounding the venue transformed into a sea of color. Blue and white Argentine shirts mixed with Spain's famous red jerseys. Songs echoed through the crowds, Supporters exchanged friendly conversations, despite supporting different teams. Street performers entertained fans. Television crews broadcast live from every corner. The entire city seemed to revolve around one event. Inside the stadium, workers completed their final preparations. Ground staff carefully inspected every section of the pitch. Broadcast teams tested cameras positioned around the field. Photographers selected the perfect locations for history's next great images. Everyone understood that millions of people across the globe would soon be watching. Back inside the dressing rooms, emotions remained surprisingly calm. The loud celebrations outside faded into the background. Now only teammates, coaches, and belief remained. Argentina's manager reminded his players that they had earned this opportunity through months of sacrifice. No fear. No hesitation. Simply trust the football that had brought them this far. Messi listened quietly. He had experienced countless finals throughout his extraordinary career. Champions League finals, Copa America finals, World Cup finals. Everyone had taught him the same lesson. Pressure only becomes dangerous if you allow it to control your decisions. Instead, he encouraged younger teammates to enjoy the occasion. Football careers pass quickly. Very few players ever experience a World Cup final. Moments like these deserve appreciation as much as determination. Outside, anticipation reached incredible levels. Commentators discussed possible tactical battles. Would Spain dominate possession? Would Argentina rely on quick transitions? Could Messi discover spaces between Spain's defensive lines? Would younger stars decide the match instead? No one knew. That uncertainty made the occasion even more fascinating. When both teams eventually walked through the tunnel, the noise became almost impossible to describe. Supporters rose to their feet. National flags covered entire sections of the stadium. Children serving as mascots looked around in amazement. For them, this was a dream. For the players, it was reality. The two captains met at the center circle. A handshake. A coin toss. Simple traditions repeated before every football match. Yet everyone watching understood these ordinary moments carried extraordinary meaning. For Messi, this wasn't simply another kickoff. It represented decades of dedication, from a young boy chasing a football in Rosario to becoming one of the most celebrated athletes in sporting history. Every step had led toward nights exactly like this. His journey had inspired millions. Children practiced his dribbling style in neighborhood parks. Young athletes learned that intelligence could overcome physical limitations. Families stayed awake until early morning simply to watch him play. Very few athletes ever influence an entire generation. Messi had inspired several. Regardless of the final result, his impact on football had already become permanent. Statistics alone could never fully explain his greatness. Goals, assists, championships, individual awards. They tell only part of the story. His true legacy lies in how he made football feel. He transformed difficult situations into moments of beauty. He made impossible passes appear effortless. He reminded fans why they fell in love with the sport. That gift cannot be measured by numbers. As kickoff approached, captured supporters from every corner of the stadium. Some smiled confidently. Others looked nervous. Many quietly whispered prayers. Entire families embraced one another. Football possesses a unique ability to unite complete strangers around a shared dream. For 90 minutes, language, culture, and distance disappear. Only the game remains. The referee checked both goalkeepers, assistant referees, confirmed everything was ready. Players took their positions. The stadium gradually fell into an unusual silence. It lasted only seconds. Yet those seconds felt endless. Millions of viewers leaned closer to their screens. Children sat beside grandparents. Friends gathered in homes, cafes, and public squares across the world. Everyone waited for the same sound. The opening whistle. Whatever happened next would become part of football history. Would Argentina complete another unforgettable chapter? Would Spain prove that teamwork could overcome experience? Could Messi produce one final masterpiece on the greatest stage in sport? Only the next 90 minutes could answer those questions. And regardless of the outcome, one truth had already become undeniable. Football had been transformed forever by Lionel Messi. Generations from now, supporters will still remember the magic, the vision, the impossible goals, and the unforgettable nights that defined an era. Because legends are remembered for trophies. Icons are remembered for moments. But history remembers the players who changed the game itself, and Lionel Messi had already secured his place among the greatest names football will ever know.